Alright, howdy everyone. We're back again today. We're on day 5. I feel like Laura is mad at me. Notkin's fucking dead again. I looked it up because I was salty about it. Notkin will always get ill, it seems, on that day. And it's like, oh, if you don't cure him, it's very likely that he will die. And it's just like, okay, but like he had like the tiniest sliver to die, and the game still fucked me over. So what is the truth, really? And we discovered that babies just go in your pocket. You don't need to carry them, just put them in your pocket. I should also now be a little bit louder, hopefully. I put a gain thing on my microphone. This is a great game, I agree. Hello, Darth Junius, is that your name? That's a cool name. I hope you're having a good day so far. But yeah, I put a gain filter on my microphone, so I should now be a little bit louder. I would prefer if you had to turn me down rather than had to turn me up. So, we will... I forgot to refresh my alerts. That's fine. You're gonna refresh, or... No, you're just gonna be weird like that. Okay, I guess my alerts are just not gonna refresh. I am on day 5. The only person who has died so far is Notkin, which is the second time that he's died on me, despite me doing my best to try and curb the disease, but I guess the game hates me. No, this is my second run. Technically third. Your tactic of leaving Twitch open all the time is working. Oh, you're taking Tendy to the vet? She doing okay? Why are my alerts? Oh, it's because it's the wrong thing, that's why. Refresh. There we go. Ah, spay. Fair enough. Oh yeah, I've played Pathologic Classic extensively. I have over 100 hours in it now, and I have about 50 in this game. I got the deal ending on my first run because I'm a fool. But I did also play it on the hardest difficulty, and this is on a slightly lower difficulty, so... because I want to live for longer. It's still hard, but not as hard. I technically played this game 2 years ago, and got about this far, but then I think, like, I died a couple of times and I just gave up. But... I have now technically completed this game once, even if I didn't get an actual ending. But I still got the achievement for it, so you know, I'll take that. We didn't find Ruben. I didn't have enough time to do that, unfortunately. Hopefully he's fine. I'm not doing badly, but if I don't stay vigilant on stuff, I could just completely screw myself over.
The price of salt is going up. People are hoarding it. It's like we're at war.
Game's gonna take a bit to load because this game is so poorly optimized, it's actually unreal. Ooh, damn. 8th run. You know, I received a little business proposition today. The whole job stinks, but us beggars can't be choosers, eh? Tell me more. The job is hiding stiffs the townsfolk are afraid to surrender their dead. How do you even hide a corpse? Anyway, people need to hide corpses. Stench becomes an issue quick. It's the smell that gives them away. Can't put them in the icebox after all. Spill it already, what's the job? So there's a chemist in the atrium. He whipped up some sort of concoction that prevents decay. Gathered some guys, around 50, maybe more. Now they go around at night and embalm stiffs. Embalm stiffs. And that's the job you were offered? Yep, plenty of guys willing to do anything for quick coin these days, me included. They hinted they wanted me to recruit you too, inconspicuously. Inconspicuous is your middle name. So what are you going to do? I'm going to have a little chat with that chemist of yours. Go ahead and accept the offer because I'm going to need a witness after this. So I have some food in the cupboard, which is nice. I'm still holding a kidney, which I need to do something with. Let's put the kidney in there. Yeah, I can understand that. Like, the problem with this game specifically is there comes a point, it's not, you can't play this game as much as, like, you can play Pathologic Classic, because at least with Pathologic Classic there is a variety of things you can do. You can save at any time, whereas in this game you can't. It's a lot harder to just do more, as it were. Especially since you can't skip cutscenes, which is very frustrating. I'm not going to make any more stuff today, I'm just going to go get the herbs. Yeah, I can understand that. Why am I so friggin' thirsty? Also, why can I not just look up at the sky and have my thirst quenched? I need to test this on an infected person. I need to go to the hospital. Well, Ruben's not fucking there, is he? He's not gonna be there, and the fund is a reward for me. I still don't really know how the resource mechanics work in this game. I have it pretty figured out for Pathologic Classic, because it's very exploitable, but I'm not really too clued up on the mechanics of this game. At some point I do want to learn how to use Unity and see if I can mod this game, but that's far off in the future, I think. There's a lot of stuff I need to do in order to do that first. I hope my microphone isn't too annoying. It seems that my noise suppressor isn't working as well. Hang on. No, it is the good quality one. Well, okay. I guess I'll just deal with it. I need a better microphone. I need to find a faucet I can drink from. Though, somehow, I did not do my gear management properly, so I don't have any bloody gears, which is really annoying. Well, that was a throw. Okay. Seriously, dude? You have the most impressive throw I've ever seen in my life. Truly a marvel. I am glad that even though like Pathologic Classic has a unique amount of jank to it, but this game has like a very specific type of jank to it. You are taking your sweet time. Can you go faster? You're not very good at this, are you? I need to go check this bin. You're very bad at the thing you're supposed to be doing. I hope you know that. Infected blood. Why'd it put it there? Why'd you put that there? Put it there, for fuck's sake. No, god damn it. Okay. Oh, nice. It's nice when it's warm out. I've played Classic like multiple times, not necessarily for the story, but for multiple other reasons. The gameplay is definitely way easier, and I agree, it is very slow and tedious. Very exploitable, though. Pathologic 2, I would be more inclined to play more if I could, A, skip the opening cutscene. Not the opening cut, but like the opening sequence up until the point where you actually start playing the game. The fact that you can't skip that after you've played it once, I think, is bad game design. It hampers the replayability of the game. Not sharing my formula if that's what you're after. I don't need competition, thank you very much. Or are you here to put a stop to my little enterprise? Like hell you will. I'm a Kynes man. You belong to old Gimpsky. So the Kynes ordered for corpses to be embalmed? The Kynes don't need order, they inspire. By their teachings, crossing the great border requires strange but simple steps. They despise death and refuse to play by its rules. Who knows, perhaps preserving the bodies of the dead is the first step towards victory over death. Victor would approve of my work. What border? Death is that border, the limit of our existence. Decay limits our capacity to survive as material creatures. Who knows what it takes to defeat death? Ancients believed that the dead might rise as living bodies. Are you sure the dead would want to be resurrected? Victor Kyne is shouldering the burden of fighting the epidemic. I'm sure he's well aware of what I'm doing here. The Kynes haven't stopped me, meaning they approve. This is the Kyne way. To cattle, the greatest achievements seem like transgressions. We'll see about that. The chemist interpreted the Kyne's ideas strangely. He wants to help people understand death, but instead he simply spreads infection. It might be educational to let Victor know how the common people interpret their philosophies. Hey Val, do you want a kidney? Can I offer you a kidney in this trying time? Getting a taste of it, huh, Ripper? What'd you call me? What would you have me call you? A Harrispex? Huh. Well, you brought me more human organs, didn't you? Or did you just drop by for a chat? Do you know that your neighbour has a side job? He's just helping people like me. It's called compassion. As for his methods, they're none of my business. I stay out of his, he stays out of mine, and that's how we stay good neighbours. I suggest you do the same. One day they'll bust you both. Mind your own safety. If I'm busted, I'll know whom to thank for it. You don't have anything, do you? No, I don't think so. Seven water. Like, I would definitely say that gameplay, like, Pathologic Classic, there's aspects of both games that I like and dislike. I think a lot of the writing in Pathologic 1 is a lot better, though Pathologic 2 does have, like, its good stuff too, with, like, different interpretations, different methods of doing stuff. Why are you here?
There's a lot of me, not so much of you.
Wait, strike if you will, but hear me. I came to entrust the lives of my new parents to you. Strike if you will, but hear? Picked up some Latin from Dankovsky. Actually, it's Greek. Want me to give you the context? You can distinguish Greek from Latin, I'm impressed. No need, I know it. There's trouble looming over both of them. Something with their house. It's a house of troubles. My adopted mother is especially in danger. Can you help us? Can you watch over them? Please. Wait a second, don't I ruin everything I touch? Isn't that what you told me? Forgive me. Please forgive me. Please. I forgive you, but I want answers. I did take care of them, but I can't any longer. I need to disappear for a while, maybe even forever. Don't ask, please. You'll understand soon enough. But tell me you'll do it, Burach. I know you have a warm heart. Fine, who are they? The Sabarovs, they're my new mother and father. The Sabarovs, a house of troubles, I see. Will you do it? They'll never ask anyone themselves. Mother thinks the whole town hates her for failing to protect them from the plague. And father, he takes all the evil on himself so that no one else will be soiled. But mother has the worst of it. She needs a doctor. I'll do it. Be on your way now. Let Mother Bodo caress your step. It is so moist out. I do not appreciate how moist it is.
With every breath, your soul drains slowly away. So just keep your mouth shut and don't let it slip out.
Is it urgent? Your chemist provides services to people who don't want to bury their dead. My chemist? We don't have a chemist. You say you endorse his actions. Living people are sharing their homes with the dead now. Are you happy? If I'd learned about this earlier, I would have torn his head off already. Now give me 35 seconds of silence, please. I need to think. Me too. The cemetery is overcrowded, I see. The caretaker girl forbids mass graves and stirs unrest. Yes, I've received these reports. People hide their dead to avoid them having them burned. Corpses multiply in living rooms. Does the infection linger in dead bodies? I don't know. I'm a surgeon. Most likely. This activity needs to be immediately curtailed. Do you know which house they were planning to visit? My informant told me that this has been going on for a whole day, maybe longer. I have a favour to ask of you, Borach. Find at least one house where the living harbour the dead. Find it and mark the door with, say, a white cross, as they did with the plague in the old days. It will become my proof, then I'll have leverage to deal with this matter. Doesn't a white cross mean a house is condemned? How will you go about the search? You can tell a house where dead bodies are hidden by the sound. Okay. How? Each house has a sound of its own. One that has dead people inside can't sound like a normal one. If you say so. People hide infected corpses at home. I can find such houses by the unhealthy sound. Say, on the bridge square close to the Zealot's drugstore. When I do, I'll mark their door with a cross. If this is left unchecked, the infection will spread. Misfortune has found its way into the Rod, or has it always lived there? I'm no fan of the Sabrals, but if I decide to pay them a visit, I should start with Katerina. Her room's at the back of the mansion. It is. I really like the soundtrack in this game. I think Pathologic Classic has a unique soundtrack in and of itself, in that it sounds very otherworldly, and that's what I like about it, but I like thematically more the music in this game. Like, Pathologic Classic, Pathologic 2, this is the better game for gameplay and for how it engages the player, I think. Pathologic Classic is good in its own right for what it is. Pathologic 1 is a lot harder to play if you don't know how to play the game. And that, I think, is what makes it harder, because the game is not hard. It is not a hard game. It's very exploitable. Once you learn how a lot of the mechanics work, you can pretty much just blaze your way through the entire game very, very easily. You can pretty much do whatever the fuck you want. The only, obviously, plus side with Pathologic Classic is that you have the other two characters to play as and their perspectives as well, even if the Changeling run is not fully fleshed out for what it is, but it makes me excited for whatever, if they ever come out with the Bachelor and the Changeling run for this game, whether it be as DLC or whether they make new games for it, whatever they decide to do, if they decide to do it. Then I expect like good things to come out of it. Oh yeah, I like Pathologic 2 is a lot more player friendly, but is also harder to play. I came into the game having played Pathologic Classic extensively and knowing a lot of the stuff, the general stuff already to do with this game, but it still screwed me over because the game works in a completely different way, and that's the main aspect. I was expecting it to be too much like Pathologic Classic, and I shouldn't have expected that. That is very much on me. Why is this? What house is that coming from? You know, I've played Pathologic Classic extensively. I know the story of the game, I know the majority of the things that happen, but it's still a completely different experience from what Pathologic Classic sets up because of the way it engages the player. I don't like that, it's very intimidating. Where is the door? Marked a suspicious house. Should I keep searching? You can't play Pathologic Classic competitively. What is the deal? What is going on in here? I need to know. How can I help you, Doctor? What are those sounds? What sounds? Upstairs, second floor. It's a cat. I love cats. Can I come up and pet it as me? That's what I would do. Yes, I agree. Like, Pathologic Classic, it gives you a lot of stuff, actually, compared to this one. Pathologic 2 mainly revolves around, obviously, the trading, and that's the main thing. This is neighbourly business, Doctor. We don't need you here. Get the hint already. Fine, I'll send orderlies here then. Would you rather deal with them? Hey Uncle, let's play fire starters. Take a pebble. If you get a red one, you're sick. Black and you're a fire starter. We use sticks for bottles. Get hit and you're dead. If you're sick and touch a fire starter, they get infected too. Hey, not fair, you've only got red pebbles there. Everyone wants to play as a fire starter, and boy, it's boring to be sick. Folks say the fire starters are sick too. The plague doesn't kill them, it whispers to them. Tells them to burn folks so they suffer less. It's kind. The plague doesn't know kindness. I need to... What the f...
Come over here.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, okay. I'll take your word for it. I don't want to get beaten to death. It's not cheating. I don't want to die. I'm only lucky I had a save here. I went the wrong way. I don't know how many times I died in my first playthrough, but it must have been like at least 15. That's interesting. Oh, it really can. It's why I took the Traveller's Deal. I completely forgot that, Oh, that's different. This house has already been marked by a cross, but not by me. Wait, why did that change? That's interesting. I don't hear the thumping anymore. Interesting. Yep, I took the deal, like a fool. Which, I mean, I got the achievement for it, I guess. I have that going for me. Means I don't have to do it again. I did not know what happened when I took it, no. I know what happens now. Do I have to... Okay. Yeah. That's why I was so annoyed when I got to the last day, and it's like, okay, you know what, that's on me. Oh, no, I didn't take the deal in this playthrough. I took it in my last playthrough.
And worst of all, a coward. Always been a coward. Oh, I hate it.
You poor house. In a way, you're kinda like teeth. You know how they pull teeth out? Sometimes a dead tooth can be left in place. Other times needs immediate extraction. I remember when you were just a kid. Who could have thought you'd grow into this? I'm not talking to you, cocoon man. Don't get mad at me, dear house, but you have to go. It's not the people who need curing, but the town itself. Too much filler. That's the cause of the outbreak. Oh, House, if you're still alive, if you still hear me, I sincerely hope you'll understand. So you're planning to demolish this house? On what grounds? On the grounds that I hate it. Be so kind as to shut your trap. Your coarse voice distracts me. Your hideous smell troubles me. Your smell, blood, formaldehyde, iron as expected. Step herb, surprise, wrath. Oh, would you look at that? This beast is getting angry. As will your father. Get a load of this, dear House. This man must be a complete fool. He thinks I can follow anyone's rules. But you can't hear me, can you? You're unwanted, unliving, so I hereby sentence you to emptiness. I'm sorry. Truly your mother's daughter. Or even... Right. Maria Kiner also marks House as healthy ones. Should I let Victor know or trust her reasoning? I don't trust her. I wouldn't say I was angry. I was more annoyed with myself than anything, because I should have expected something like that. Do you have a cloak that I can have? You have chalk, but you don't have a cloak. I need a cloak, dude. Like, I absolutely should have fully expected that the game would rob me of an ending for choosing the Traveler's deal. But I don't know, it just didn't occur to me.
A soul moves like a slow spring. The harder you stretch it, the faster it contracts when released.
Is it urgent? Your daughter is out of control. She's marking houses with crosses on a whim. I'll put a stop to that. She doesn't believe you will. She's struggling with our family's tragedy. Maria took Simon's death very much to heart. She believes it put new responsibilities on her. How did she explain her actions? I'm not sure. She was talking to the house. Maria sees meaningful dreams. We never ignore them, but she doesn't yet know how to interpret them. She takes valuable information and draws incorrect conclusions. Did she tell you that the town itself is causing the outbreak? She said houses are living beings. And you must assuredly do not agree. You take it for the wild fantasies of an unbalanced girl, yet I am positive there is a grain of truth to her thinking, and you will soon bear witness to that. But let's set this aside and we'll put a stop to her. My job was to warn you, the rest is up to you. Victor will discipline his daughter, there will be no more marks on healthy houses. I saved too much in this game. Oh yeah, no, I completely understand that. Because for me, I already knew a decent amount about this game before I played it anyway, both from playing Pathologic Classic and from also watching videos about it. So what the fuck is the deal with the knocking then? I'm actually kind of annoyed that I reloaded save. I wish I'd gone upstairs. Oh well. I did not go into this game completely blind. I was very aware of a lot of things. It still surprised me though. Alright, I guess just it's not a thing now. Alright. Why is it always so expensive from you? Give me a morphine. Hey, Uncle. Oh, that's already done that. So I have no desire to play this game on like a quote-unquote easy mode, because I think that takes away an inherent experience of the game itself. Suffering is part of the game. If you don't have that as like a part, I don't see the point in playing, to be honest. Person's on fire. Do I have space for an organ? I do. I could take some more stuff. I need to repair my scalpel. Wait, what? I mean, I'll take it, but... What? Wait, what? What? Why was it not infected? Okay, that's... weird. What? What do you... Okay. That was strange. I'm not sure what the deal was with that. I feel like that wasn't supposed to happen, but I guess I have a kidney now. Yeah, you have the save state. Exactly. I played the entire Bachelor's route in Pathologic Classic. I got infected once, I cured the infection, and then I stated my way through every single plague cloud I came across. As, Artemy, I didn't do this. See that? I didn't know. Learn something new. I thought it was because he was on fire. Oh, you are here. Why are you here? You were hiding last night.
I'm almost entirely numb.
Yes? Stark, take a look at the sigil. It's called Udir. Ever heard of that? More kin nonsense. They mark bulls with this. What does it matter? I have no interest in their stupid cattle brands. So no love for our kind. Why? Your father wasted too much effort on that rabble. My father and I were also of the steppe. Did you somehow forget? They distracted him from his work, wanted him to live for them, toil for them, tend to them. All they need is an owner, a protector, a caretaker, someone to cling to like fleas draining their blood. They're all about blood. Someone has a temper. Is this personal? They, her, not you, so you think I'm a different breed? Wolves. Wolves, each and every one of them. They surround you, smother you, they wait till you're out of breath, and they press on and on and on. They put him in an early grave, the blasted kin, and I'm soon to follow. What, you? What reason could they possibly have? Well, maybe I gave them a reason, or maybe it's habit for them by now. Look, take your damn sigil and get lost. You picked a curious time to study folklore. You need work or what? Let me know. Let me know and I'll make you busy. I'm working right now, Star. Figuring this out is my job too.
Soon, I must bid you farewell, friend. Remember me fondly.
So how's your panacea going? It's not a panacea, where did you even get that word? Look, I really think you're being unfair to Grief. Ugh. Didn't take you long to forget your friend. I do not deny our old friendship, but I don't want to see him, not anymore. Nor do I want to patch up his bandits. Why not? Who drew knives? Who attacked people at night? His thugs. He cut them loose. The man giving the orders deserves the blame. I don't think those are his men. I don't believe that. Whatever. Too many corpses today, more than yesterday. They can barely cart them all away. How long does it take for the sandpest to kill a patient? No one's stayed alive for more than a day. If the patient has a weak constitution or no medicine, it takes closer to 8 hours. And antibiotics, properly prescribed, they can extend their life. I remember Mentor talking about it. I always forget your step word. The 3 states, is that what you mean? The 3 layers. Could you at least find the right antibiotics for some patients here? Perhaps the world could survive a day or two. Then you could rescue them with that panacea of yours. Is that my job for today? I guess. Alright, consider it done. I've made up my mind, you know. If I survive all this, I'll leave, never to return. Where would you go? I don't know. To the front. Very funny. Are you just... I need to repair my scalpel. I don't have room for that. I guess... I'll leave that there for now. Well, that's not helpful. Okay, so it's yellow then. Oh, really? Really? Never had that happen before. Oh, inventory space is a nightmare in this game. Please be white. It is white, thank you. Yes, I would love a tip to manage my inventory. That's not bloody helpful. It's more helpful. There we go, I did my job for the day.
Time is slipping through our fingers. We must act now.
We need an isolation ward, a huge building. Spacious. Yes, that's the word I used. The kind suggested the cathedral. That's it. Nothing surprises me anymore. Then again, all a quarantine person has left is a prayer. But it's a single space, no separate rooms. Precisely. No separate rooms, no running water, no heat, no beds. And yes, it is spacious, vertically. I suppose Victor expects me to build 8-story bunk beds in there, and add hanging ropes so that people from the upper layers can descend to the toilet. You should suggest that to the Kinds, Erdem. They'll appreciate your imagination, building one's spirit, training their will, asking the perennial questions. Questions, 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 always questions, never answers. I have a question for you too, Erdem. By the way, what does Erdem mean? Obviously it's a step word, but what's the translation? Arrogant fool, maybe? Hello, Actanium. How are you doing today? No, it's a polite way to address a person of knowledge. So? Okay, don't laugh at me. Have you heard that 5 years ago, during the first outbreak, kids made these horrible mixtures from ground pills? Yes, schmauders. They can cure the plague. Yes, I've heard worse. I've checked, but don't laugh at me either. Dear colleague, what's the word? Erdem. I'm no Erdem. Emshem would be more accurate, but not especially humble. Usually we call surgeons Yagashins, as in butchers. Holy shit, sorry, excuse my language. So you've checked then? You don't have to watch your tongue with me. Yes, I've checked, but if you wonder how it works, I don't know. I'm not a pharmacologist, and anyway, this place doesn't have a lab. If you ask me, it was 10,000 monkeys at a typewriter. I don't want to delve too deep into this. There are more things in heaven and earth. What we need is a process that follows the scientific method. Ooh, I've been pet. I appreciate it. Fair enough. I have no immunity. I should do something about that. I've been booped. Put the big items in the sides, small spaces, and the little ones in the big middle space. Easy to make specific spaces where you can play Tetris. Oh, interesting. Okay. I didn't realize that NPC houses storage would actually allow me to keep stuff in them. I don't know why, it just didn't really occur to me, to be honest. Also, yeah, I play Tetris a lot with these. It's really something. Oh, I need to move. I didn't want to click that twice, actually. There we go. That's a bit better. That'll make it easier at least. But thank you for that, I appreciate it. Infected kidneys can be brewed into antibiotic. It weakens the disease, but it doesn't kill it. Ruben doesn't know jack shit, but he gave me an idea. While Gimski's son studies step law, perhaps I could ask him. I do need to go to the fun still. I need to sleep somewhere too. Oh, that's rude. That materialized when I went there. God damn it. No, stop. Cease. That's annoying. I don't want to be infected. we go. I'm out of the area. Just be careful with Lara's place of bad grief. Right, that's fair. Yeah, no, I remember the whole thing with grief because like his the other group led by what's his face takes over the place. I remember that because I almost got shanked. I was not happy about it. I need to eat something. It's a pain in the ass. Yeah, that's fair. My problem will be, though, unless I write down where I put things, I will forget where I put them. Just like in real life. The steppe rabble are dragging a bull through the hindquarters, celebrating their cruelty, the beasts. What is there to celebrate? Now that's a good question. Everyone else mourns while they celebrate. I think you know why. The beasts overflow with joy. Made a hard, half-naked girl ride the thing. Shameless. Huh. Now that is a sight to behold. You have anything? You have thread. I can repair this stuff, that's fine. Great. Yeah, that makes sense. You suddenly appeared. Have you heard, Doctor? People have completely lost faith in you. We've taken up the good fight ourselves, with fire. What fight? You doctors stand around watching microbes. It's we who suffer. You stash away medicine while we're all on our own. Personally, I'm too scared, but there will be others. They'll burn the sick. They're beyond salvation anyway. We remember the first outbreak, but it will at least protect ourselves. We study microbes to save you assholes. I'm gonna go back over here because I need to sell the thing that I got, and also because I still want to know what the deal is. This is in, like... If I remember correctly, this is just after First World War. Maybe. It is not a set time period. We just know there's a war going on. But also you have to remember, this is a town in the middle of the steppe. The only contact they have in the outside world is when a train comes into town. This is a completely different culture. It's why Dankovsky is the way he is and gets so frustrated by everything. Just because we have notions that we understand about science doesn't mean that everybody understands or is aware of them. I still need a cloak. I need to upgrade. The cloak is all I need to upgrade my inventory again. But I can't seem to friggin' find one. You don't have one. I'll show you my bullets. Have some bullets. Yes, and the disease is almost mythical in this as well. Exactly. I swear I had some rifle bullets. I don't even remember where I got this one. I obviously got it from somewhere. No, I didn't do that. I do apologise, I cannot help you. Like, I think it's very ignorant to talk about people in such a way as if they're stupid for not believing in science. I'm gonna put that in here. The herbs I want to store back at the thing. Put some food in here as well. Oh, it's a very good stab. I'm very proud of it. No, I wanted to grab the fish, actually. In this game specifically, the time period is a little bit more precise. Because they explicitly mention a war and a couple of different aspects. But in Pathologic Classic, not a clue. It is set at some point. Like, maybe it's set at around the same time. Yeah, so the town culture represents a mix of Russian culture from shortly before the 1917 revolution and the ancient traditions of the steppe inhabitants. So you could probably pin this game around, like, 1920-ish, maybe. Because in Pathologic Classic, they don't make a mention of it. The architecture of the town is so you can't place the town at a specific period of time because it's just so out of place. Because I think when it comes to this game specifically, knowing that there is a war going on and there is a war on, like, a specific front against that could be in reference to a specific war, recontextualizes certain stuff within the game. Oh, I agree, but something you have to remember is that especially the First World War, military tech and science advanced incredibly fast. Because there was a reason for it. Right, I have lots of plant. This is very good. Hunger's terrible. I'll sleep as well, I think. I need more thread. I need a razor? Oh, god damn it. Right, I can only repair one of these. I'm gonna repair the cloak, because that's like the most pertinent thing to repair. God damn it, I need a razor. Ah, that's annoying. Where's my stuff? Let's see. I only have one whip. That's annoying. Whip. And blood is white. Ash and blood is orange. Swev and blood is yellow. And then we make one of each. Blood and brown is white. Black and blood is yellow. And black and brown is orange. Yeah. Fine, I'll put all the herbs back. Why is there not a quick thing to put the herbs, put stuff into a storage versus taking them out? That annoys me. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Leave the infected blood here. Leave the water here. Fiddle, fiddle with all my stuff. Oh yeah, I know it does. Time passes for everything except looking at the map and being in these screens. I am painfully aware of how fast time passes. It stresses me out. I know there's probably ways that I could do things faster, but I physically cannot do them faster than YM, because I'd need to practice doing that, and I don't have the capacity to do that at the moment. There's too much stuff I need to think about before having to do other stuff. I'm gonna go back over here. There's no point in me taking the boat because that'll just take too long. I'll just run. I still want to do the thing for this because if it means that I can prevent the infection in Bridge Square, then that's good for me. I just don't get why the knocking didn't occur, and why is this house that color? It's that color for a reason, but why? I haven't done anything with that house. I need to give Casper kind of a thing so he doesn't get ill. Oh yeah, I was gonna sleep, wasn't I? Completely forgot. God, it's already 6 p.m.
How can people protect themselves from the infection? You're a doctor. You should know.
Shush. Oh, yeah, no, I get that, but the problem is, I need to be able to see everything in order to know what I'm doing. I can't look at my inventory and organize my inventory based on what I'm going to put into my inventory, because I won't remember. That's not a game problem, that's a me problem. Like, I have to look at the map like every 10 seconds because I can't... I have played both games so much and I still cannot remember the layout of the town. Like, I have over 100 hours in Pathologic Classic and I cannot remember the layout of the town. I can pick out landmarks, but I cannot like lay it out. It's very frustrating. There's, I think, whip there or something. I want it in my pocket. Where is it? I heard it. I heard it here. There it is. I forgot to pick... Okay, well... I don't even know if they would have been done. That's fine, I'll just pick them up tomorrow or later. See, because now I've said, like, okay, I'm gonna put food specifically in Orgimski's place, Orgimskai's place. Like, I know that I will remember that because all I've put in there is food. You don't know I'm here. You can't see me. It's fine. Here, have this.
A firebox for a heart, they say. But in truth, what you need is a compass.
Why must you always intrude upon children? You don't belong here. You must be confused, we're not in the polyhedron. We have so few places of our own, only a couple, and yet you feel the urge to impose yourself even here. Do you know what childhood is? It's slavery. Herders treating their cattle better than parents treat their children. They lock us up like objects, mold us like statues, and still never take us remotely seriously. Are you talking about your own family? Of course not. I'm a ruler's son. To me, my own issues must always be of least concern, but I'm not blind. I see others. You're a responsible young man. Whatever you say. What happened to you? Why are you here and not in the tower? You happened to me. Me? I'm not shifting responsibility onto you, and I have no regrets. Going to that house was the right thing to do, but I've heard it even helped slow the infection somewhat. However, in your place, I'd never allow 2 adolescents to venture inside a hotbed of infection. And if you wouldn't have gone without me anyway, at least I supervised. I don't know anything for certain anymore. How long is its incubation period? No one knows. That means I can't go back to the polyhedron. It's a very mature line of thinking. Several hundred of my friends live there. I'm their leader. If there is even a minuscule chance that I've contracted sandpest. No, I'm not even approaching the tower unless I know for sure. I can examine you. Face the light and open your eyes wider. If you're sick, we'll find you some schmauder. You're a doctor. I'll accept your help if you decide it's required. To do otherwise would be pointless arrogance. But this plague is like a wildcat. Today it hides, tomorrow it ambushes. I'd rather stay here for now. But here, inside the house, is exactly where you're in the most danger. And I apologize for the way I talked to you earlier. Forget it. I can tell it's hard for you to be away from that tower. Yeah, I hadn't done the House of Death quest before, and I wanted to do it because I wanted to know what the deal was. I enjoyed it. It was a good little quest. It was very creepy. There's a herb over there, but I can't. You better not turn round, sir. No. Oh, no, they're arsonists. They're not going to go for me. It's fine. Completely forgot what area I was in. Oh, I'm so fucking thirsty. Yeah, that's fair. I'm very annoyed about the fact that Notkin still died for me, despite the fact he had a really low threshold to die, but he still died. Like, if the only way to like really make sure that he lives is to get him a schmauder, that's very frustrating. Yeah, I still have the organ on me. Because that's the second time. Because he died the first time too. I'm like, oh come on, for fuck's sake. It's like, okay, fine, he'll always get infected. But, God, at least let me do something about it. I don't need the scalpel. It's fine. Why do you always have... Because some of the other kids have morphine on them, but they have it in 6, not 10. The crowd has lost their minds. Oh, yeah, I already did this one. People are frightened for their lives. If a thug attacks you with a knife, will you turn the other cheek? Sand plague is worse than a knife. I won't. Mistress Katerina taught us the only path to understanding the self is through suffering. We witness the people's interpretation of her words. They're trying not to kill those infected, you know. No, the hope is that pain and fire would cleanse them, somehow. Dark Age hysteria. More fantasies. People can't even lose their mind right in this town. Where can you get it for free on day 4? I haven't actually seen a single schmauder this entire game. Which now that I'm thinking about it, I'm actually kind of impressed about. I would have thought I would have at least seen it as a, thing I can buy, at the very least. Odd sounds aren't coming from the house, though, are they? I think this might be bugged. That house is supposed to be making sounds, and yet it isn't. No, that's the house that was supposed to have the thumping coming from it, the knocking. But it wasn't making any sound. That's why I was confused. It was supposed to be making noise and it wasn't. It's like, I never got the prompt for the crying baby in one of the infected districts, and last time I played, I knew that bringing a baby to the town hall would net you a reward, but it was not something that I ever came across. It just never happened for me. I never heard a baby crying at all throughout the entire game, and I don't think that was supposed to happen. The sounds specifically, I think, oh yeah, no, I know, but the point I'm making is I have this as a quest, and the time when I almost got beaten up by the guys in the house, yeah, she didn't get infected. Like, I never went and spoke to her, so maybe that was why. I never interacted with her, because she did die later on, but it's, like... It's one of those things that I can't tell whether it's purposeful by the game, or whether it's a bug. Because for that house, specifically, when I came out of the Kind's house, there was distinct knocking and thumping coming from that house. Then I went into the house, and it, I obviously reloaded the save because I was about to get beaten to death. But when I came back, the sound didn't happen, even though it should have still happened. I got a different effect, but I think that would have happened anyway had I not just gone straight to that house. Because I was listening for the sound, because I knew which house it was, but it didn't happen. And it even appeared on the map, there's a strange thumping coming from this house. Oh, that's entirely fair, like, I can understand that as a mechanic. But I'm talking about the marking the cross on the house, because of the fact that the sound that was supposed to happen didn't happen. Like, same house, I knew it was that house, but it didn't make a sound, even though on the map it circled the house saying that there was a strange noise coming from the house. And I can't tell whether that was supposed to happen or not. And I don't think it was. But I don't know why. Oh, I don't want to know what houses are. Like, stuff like that, I'm very content to figure out by myself. I just need the game to actually cooperate with me. Because for this house, it's the same house that I went into before, that I had the guards talk to me like, oh, don't go upstairs, it's just a cat, there's nothing going on. but when I reloaded the save, the house didn't make any sounds, even though it still circled it on the map as being like, there's a sound coming from this house, but there was no noise, so I don't think that was supposed to happen. Like, things like the thing with Anna Angel, specifically, that's different, because that is something, like, okay, I didn't go and see Anna at any point, so it never occurred, it never happened to me as a thing. That I can get and understand, but the thing with the, oh, no, I understand that. What I'm saying right now is when I went into that house the first time, I did so because there was a sound coming from the house and it was marked on the map that there was a sound coming from the house. Then, when I knew I was going to get the shit beat out of me, I reloaded the save and went outside, and the house didn't make any noise, but it was still the same house that got marked on the map as being, this house is making a noise, you should go investigate it. That's what I was expecting. Because if the game had decided that it wasn't going to be this house, then fine. But I think that was not supposed to happen. Because that just... it is more frustrating than anything, because had I not gone near the house and had the prompt come up, I would have just assumed that the game would have just picked a different house and I just wasn't hearing a sound anymore. That's the problem I had with it. What was the thing with this? Right, I understand that, but it had a circle on it that was the same circle that said, there is a noise coming from this house. But there wasn't any sound coming from the house like there was when it happened last time. So the game to mark it as the same thing made no sense, because there wasn't sound coming from the house. Because if I... hang on. If I go back to the house now, and the like 2 kids and the 3 guards are still in the house, that means that the quest flag is exactly the same. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, it's a bug in the soundtrack. But what I'm saying is there's a lot of stuff like that that I've had happen to me that I don't know whether it's supposed to happen or whether it's a bug. Because the game is designed in such a way that you can't distinguish the difference. And that's the problem I have. I'm gonna save before going into this house, though. Like, I'm not trying to argue with you about, whether it's to do with, like, how the game is flagging certain stuff. I was simply saying, I'm 90% sure that this house being marked in the same way was a bug. Yeah, the 2 guards are still here. Because they don't want me in there. Yeah, because like right now, it's like, what are those sounds? There's nothing playing. The sound effect hasn't happened, which is a bug. House examination. Everything is in order, so let me in. What for? I heard odd sounds. What sounds? Are you deaf? Step aside. I said move.
Come over here. You.
Stop it. Oh my god.
Stop right there.
This is inconvenient for me. Stop. I will stab you. Give
Calm
up.
down.
Thank you for giving up. No, because I wouldn't have marked the house had I not known that the sounds were happening. Because unless it carries over from, say, like... Would you come to mark this house? Well, now I'll have to. When the coughs started, they began avoiding me and then locked me in here alone. Yes, I'm sick, but not with this terrible plague. It's just a cold. Flu, maybe. Go ahead and examine me. Just no quarantine, please, and don't mark the house. I can tell it's not the plague. Your skin is normal. Can you move? Move? Seriously? Come on. They're in my way. Well, no, I might... Remember, I reloaded the save when these two guys started beating the shit out of me. So, in the eyes of the game, I had reset the game to before I had gone to this house. So the halfway point of the quest, where it's like, oh, I should go investigate houses, was the point that I had stopped at. Going into this house then advanced it to the next part of the quest, but in that save, I hadn't done that yet because I saved it before going to the house. For whatever reason, me reloading the save that I had made before going to this house made the soundtrack bug out so that the noise that was coming from the house that should have been there to tell me to go to the house did not occur like it should have done. So I didn't go to the house. Even though that part of the quest hadn't happened yet. Also, these two guys are blocking the staircase. I can't get out. Really? Are you actually kidding me? So, like, right now, I marked this house before going into it. Therefore, the consequences of this quest are now set in motion, and I'm not going to reset it. Okay, there we go. Like, I fully acknowledge I have marked that house. Whatever happens as a consequence of that is now going to happen, and I'm not going to do anything about it, because that's part of the game. But had I not gone back and explicitly looked at that house that I was supposed to look at, that never would have occurred. I need to be careful, and I need to eat something. I need to go to Olgimski's house, because that's where I put all my food. Clothes, pharmacy, grocery. Like, it's simply one of those things that I just, like, have to bear in mind and deal with. Yeah, no, I know, but we kind of now have the answer. It's a bug. It's definitely a bug. If resetting a save in a game still keeps the quest flags for whatever you did before, like, when you reloaded the save, they should not still be the same. They should also be reset from that save point. Because if you take like the thing with the baby crying as an example, if I had saved at Anna's house, then gone outside and heard the baby crying, gone into the infected house where the baby is, and almost died, and therefore reloaded the save, but when I left the house, the baby crying never occurred, but the house was still marked as having a baby, like, crying sound coming from it, that's a bug. Because for some reason, the game has marked the quest flag as, like, investigate the baby sound already done. So, despite me never having done that, because I reloaded the save, it decides that it won't make the sound. And that is a problem. Like, that wasn't the right house, but at this point I have things that I need to go and do to make sure I don't die before the day ends. So, I'm just gonna have to do it at some other point during a different run. Which is fine. I didn't even see that plague cloud. Because the thing is, when it comes to stuff like that as well, it means that if the player reloads the game for any reason, there's a good chance that they'll actually miss something simply because the game didn't notify them that it was happening. Right, I'm no longer dying of hunger. I can put that back in my inventory. Oh yeah, no, that's fair, that the baby house can change when you reload the game, but if the crying never occurs because the game thinks that you already did that part of the quest and have a baby and, like, had taken the baby from the house, then the player is not going to know which house to go to unless they get close to it. I'm not saying that that would happen. What I'm saying is, I'm using that as an example. Because that, as an example, is a problem of someone in the process of coding the game just didn't think about if the player would be reloading when something like a sound trigger has occurred. Because obviously the problem then is stuff like that that does require you to have gone to Anna Angel's house and spoken to her, and for her not to be infected, means that the player will miss stuff. Because if it's a bug, the player's not going to know otherwise. But if it isn't a bug, the player's still not going to know otherwise. Because they're not going to know what would have triggered it in the first place. And that is a coding problem. That it happens. The way in which games are coded is spaghetti, and it's probably just one of those things that, like, it just didn't occur to them when they were doing it, which is fully understandable. It's just frustrating. Let's put that there. I need to stop running. My thirst can't take any more of this. I'm gonna have the same problem I did last time. Do I have any water? I do have some water, that's fine. I can at least curb it for a while.
Hey, you.
Ooh, another knife. Shh. Okay, that's rude. That's incredibly rude. Don't you dare. He's fine. I didn't even realize you were infected. Oops, that's fine. Oh yeah, no, the baby appearing multiple times, but that's kind of part of the problem. In my previous playthrough, because of the fact that I had never seen Anna, I never got the thing with the baby. But the game still told me that if I brought a baby from an infected house to the town hall, I would be rewarded for it. So in the player's mind, that then tells the player, oh, there are infected houses that have a baby in them, but it doesn't tell you how to find them. And I think it can be safely assumed that because you never had the thing with, like, Anna Angel, because you never had the thing with Anna Angel occur, the baby crying as a thing will never happen. The player will never have an interaction with a baby, and therefore never be able to bring a baby to the town hall because they didn't do one specific thing. But to me, I thought that there must have been a problem with how the game was telling me about the fact that there were babies in infected districts that could be saved. Because at no point did it occur to me that I would have to go and interact with a with like a child, have to interact with a character in order to trigger something else happening. Oh, no, I can understand that it's intended, but I think it's bad game design. Because logically, it doesn't make any sense to the player. Because if there was a sound effect... Because if it is something like that, then they could have it as an aspect that you can hear ambient crying coming from anywhere, but it's so like nondescript that you don't know where it's coming from. You would never be able to find the child unless you were willing to sacrifice like all of your health and infection. But to tie something like that to a specific NPC, but also tell the player that it is a thing that exists, doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Right, it does give a lot of replay valor, but if the player never decides to interact with certain characters, then it's... there's no need for the game to sort of tell you about it. Yeah, I marked a house incorrectly. I can deal with the consequences of that. Like, there comes a point where the way a game is designed has to be in line with how the player is interacting with the game and the world, not just with what the world is intending based on things like quests. As far as I could tell, there is no other tip. Because the game telling me that there is a reward for finding a baby in an infected district tells me that I can either waste a lot of time going around infected houses on the off chance that I might find a child, or I can go do better things. Because there is no incentive for me to want to go around infected houses on the off chance that I might find a baby, because there's nothing to indicate that that's happening. Oh, the sound is incredibly disturbing, I agree. I hated it. Right, but the baby, the lady in the town hall telling me about the babies does not make me want to go to Anna Angel. And that's the problem I have. Like, Anna was one of the few characters that I never interacted with, because I didn't, it's just not something that I ever like thought to do. Like, one of the main reasons why I went to her was I had decided that I would go and talk to her anyway, because I didn't do so in my last run, and because I went to Peter and he explicitly said, "Can you go and check on Anna for me?" And that's fine. And then obviously doing that triggered the whole baby thing, and that's where we are now. It's just one of those like weird bits of like how they decided to code something in the game that doesn't make any sense to me as a player. You're back from the cat appointment? Cool. Right. But I have to find the baby first, and that's the problem. Especially if you're playing on the hardest difficulty, going into infected houses is a death wish. It's something that I did like once in my last playthrough and decided that it was not worth it in the long run because of the fact that I couldn't curb the infection properly. I infected myself about like 3 times in my previous playthrough, and it's only because I had Schmauder that I was able to do anything about it. Because getting the infection, you're going to die, whether you like it or not. Um, because for something like that, there's just no point to it. If you're playing the game as it is intended, there is no reason to risk your health multiple different times on the off chance that one of the houses you go into will have a baby in it. Even if that's the thing that causes you to interact with Anna in the first place, there's no point to it. No, but the game doesn't tell you to go to her. That's part of my point. I had already gone to the town hall and been told about the baby thing without ever interacting with Anna at all, because I'd gone there for the fund. And I continued the entire game. Yeah, I know Peter will tell you, but that's provided that you go to him based on fucking whichever one of the kinds, Georgi kind, telling you to go to him. If you never pursue that path, then it's not something you will ever do. And even then, the way the game works, you don't have to do that at all. But the main thing I'm saying is that it's... No, I don't want the game to force you. But I want to know why the game decides to tell you that there is a thing that you can't do because you didn't do something earlier that you never knew about. Because, like, I knew about the reward, but I never went and searched for an infant. Oh yeah, no, I know. I mean, for me, she died at some point in my playthrough. I don't know when, but she did die, because I never interacted with her, so I never saw anything to do with her. Which meant that I would never get the baby thing anyway, but I don't remember when that happened. She will, though. That's the point. She will tell you about them because you can talk to her. It's something that still happens regardless of whether you've ever interacted with anyone or not. And that's the problem I have. Because even if there was something like a passing dialogue that said, sometimes you can hear like a baby crying in an infected district, that still gives the player a bit more information about it than pushing them to go in a certain direction towards a character. Because if the player never, like... Yeah, and that's fair, but I didn't know that because I never talked to Anna. Yeah, it is on me. It's on me for not going and talking to Anna, but there was no way for me to know that specifically talking to Anna would activate anything to do with the baby quest, because why would it? Like, I could maybe have inferred from playing the first game that because she's part of the caravan, they have a thing to do with like a rumor going about them that is to do with them stealing children to make them performers as part of the circus. But from that makes more sense from a lore perspective. Yeah, and I can understand that. So there are some quests that I have never activated because I have never done anything to do with that NPC. But I should not find out about it retroactively from a completely different character if it's something that is telling the player that there's something that they can do. If it's a consequence of not doing it, it's different. Yeah, if Bagriff dies, you don't get the Bandits quest. That makes sense. I'm not going to argue about this anymore, because the problem is I feel like you are having... Cause I'm assuming English isn't your first language, and that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is, I think you are misunderstanding a core thing that is what I have a problem with, and I don't know how to, like, convey it in a way that will make it make more sense. I've played enough games in my life, and enough different varying games with different mechanics, to know and see where something is a bit of an oversight from a developer for something, versus when it's something that was explicitly intended, that is just kind of like existing. I have a lot of qualms with how this game handles stuff compared to how other games handle stuff, and to a certain extent, whether that's intended or not doesn't necessarily matter, because at the end of the day, when you're making a game, you have to understand how someone is going to play it, and what they are going to infer based on the information that the game plays. The game gives you. This game constructs its narrative and how you play it very well, in the fact that it posits that you are not the hero of this story. You are a protagonist, but you're not the protagonist. You're not necessarily an antagonist either, and there isn't really an antagonist. You could argue that the Plague is an antagonist, but the Plague is not a villain. No character really falls into a villainous category, because it's supposed to be a story about a world and its culture, versus a hero story where you as the player come in and save the day. And that's fine, but you have to construct it in a way that also enables the player to understand properly that there are things that they are just not going to know. Yeah. The thing is, though, events only exist if you talk to people. If I talk to people, they will tell me that stuff is happening, and I understand that. That's something that the game actively, like, tells you. Go and talk to the townspeople. They will tell you rumors. They will tell you random stuff that happens to be going on that day. And that is the main way that the game constructs things for you to go and do. Otherwise, you'd never get anything done. But there are certain things that exist that the game explicitly never tells you about unless you interact with the character that sets that thing in motion. And that's fine. But if you tell me later on that there is a section of that thing that's like, oh, if you go and interact with this other character, they will tell you that if you go do this thing, then something will happen, but the thing that set the quest in motion is never mentioned, then that is a problem, because what's the player supposed to do with that information? They have half of the information, but the half that they got shouldn't have been told to them in the first place unless they'd done the first half already. because it's just meaningless. It doesn't mean anything. And it's frustrating to deal with because the game is expecting something of me, but I don't know what the game is expecting of me, so I just never deal with it. Oh yeah, you can like make the story, and that's fine. There's just issues that I still have with it because it's not a perfect game. Well, the game does expect something. It expects you to do something. Doing nothing is still doing something. The game is expecting something of you. Yeah, exactly. You're still doing something. That is what the game is expecting of you as the player. It's expecting you to make choices based on what you understand about different aspects of the world and how it works. You can choose to do nothing, but you accept the fact that by doing nothing, pretty much everyone is going to die, you are never going to solve the problem, and you just kind of willingly accept that all of the consequences are because of the fact that you chose to do nothing. And that's good storytelling. No, it's not a problem to me. What's a problem to me is when the game expects something from you, but at no point actively gives you a clue about what the game is expecting from you. Because there's no consequence to me not finding a child apart from not getting a reward. Because obviously you get reputation from doing that as well. But if the game is telling me to do something like that, I can either choose to actively just pursue that as a thing and find out what the fuck it's talking about, which, if there's other things that I need to do, means that I'm not doing all of those things, or I can choose to ignore it and assume that it's never supposed to be something that I was told, and that it's a problem with how the game has told me something. Right, exactly. So me rescuing children from infected districts doesn't have any consequence for anything. Me either doing that or not doing that has no bearing on anything else. So why was it told to me in the first place? That's not a consequence, though. Because the consequence of either learning about Anna Angel's story or not is entirely based on whether I ever go and interact with her. It is not determined by whether the lady at the town hall tells me about rescuing children. If I never interact with a character, I never learn about them, and that's fine. But if a different character tells me about something that I never knew about in the first place, then, like, I can't do anything with it. What is it warning me about? Also, what is it, my love? Ooh.
The
Uh-oh.
day is over. The end draws ever closer.
It's alright.
A new pantomime is rehearsed at the theater.
Which way? Right. But if I never interact with those NPCs, then I'll never go and see her. But the person at the town hall telling me about the reward for rescuing children is not in any way tied to Anna Angel. Otherwise I would have gone and spoke to her. It's not that I want the game to tell me to go and talk to an NPC, it's that I want the game to explicitly connect those two things that are very separate from each other together so that it makes sense retroactively.
I fell in love for the first time when I was 6. A kind boy with freckles. And you know, these days his name was Matvey.
I don't believe you. And I don't like you. Actually, that's too mild a statement. I feel an innate resentment towards you.
Ah, it's... well, alright then. Most people love me.
I don't like you either, girl of fate. But not just you, I'm not sure I know how to love.
Enough. This won't do. It won't do at all. This is a theater production, not a pity party. You should be ashamed of how you've wasted your time worrying about such nonsense. Go to bed. That's it. Rehearsal over.
You're all doing such a great job. Right, but how am I going to go and save a baby if I don't know where the child is? Because me having... Thank you for the follow, Juvu McJupi, I appreciate it. If I have to talk to Anna to get the thing where a baby is crying and I can go investigate the house and find the child, how am I supposed to find a child if I've never interacted with Anna? Because going around infected houses at random on the off chance that I might find a baby is a death sentence. And I'm not going to do that because I value my life. Where's the dead item shop? Oh, it's a... Oh, fuck, this was the day that I needed to go and get the tickets from him. I completely forgot about that. Oh well. I'll just have to deal with that. It is what it is. On the plus side, the store should now have new inventory. Oh, go away. Don't dodge me. Lockpick. Money. Thing. I need to go back to the lair. I need to pick up the stuff. Right, but that never happened to me. This is what I'm saying. I never had this interaction at all throughout my previous playthrough, and I went round a lot of infected districts. And I never interacted with Anna, and she died later on in the game. Right, so then, why did the woman at the town hall tell me about the baby thing? Because if on that day that I went and spoke to the town hall lady, she wasn't infected, fine. But you can only, like, talk to her once and know that information. If I had been going round on that same day and had never heard a baby cry, then I've completely missed an entire thing to do with Anna and never knew about it. And that's the problem I have. There was nothing for me to know that the two were connected to each other. So I've missed out on an entire thing that I was told a section of, but not enough for me to know that it was a thing in the first place. Anyway, we're moving on from this anyway, because I am getting tired of repeating myself over and over again. You have nothing to say to me. Ah, it's 4,000 money. I need the food. I'm gonna take like half of this. I'll take the money at the very least. Move that. Go the wrong way. That's fine. I'm not discussing this anymore because it's going round in circles and I'm getting tired of it. Oh, you are not great. You have a knife. You fucker. Well, okay. You're both in danger. So I need to talk to you. At least I have a good amount of bottles. They say the Sabarovs nurture the plague, that they harbour a carrier, a girl. What carrier? Hell if I know. That's why we're here. To get him to give her up, but he won't. Keeps lying, saying there's no carrier, trying to talk us down. Soon he's going to cause people to hunt down women in the street like on that first day. And what will you do to her if she... What will you do with her if he does give her up? Only one thing to do. Put her back where she came from, into the earth. If they do find a carrier, Sabarov won't need your help to deal with them. You dense pal, the plague plays right into Sabarov's hands. The Kynes and Olgimpskis have always resented him, and now he wields power. He's pulling out all the stops, promoting order, he says. Some order. Who knows, maybe you're right.
You can't look straight at the sun or at death without flinching. Whose saying was that?
Ah, Borak, if you've grown weary of your medical duties and seek to join the town guard, you'll leave disappointed. Your expertise would be wasted on the streets. Not to mention we're almost out of leather caps. I'm used to disappointment. So what brings you here today? The hunt for the urchin that carries the plague? If so, don't bother. My porch is already stacked with volunteers. Pockets full of matches and kindling leave no room for common sense. Are they planning another burning? They showed up this morning claiming to have found the carrier, a homeless little girl, clearly infected but nonetheless alive and well. I know perfectly well what urchin they mean. Be assured, she has nothing to do with this. How can I help? You're a doctor. They'll trust you more than me. Tell them they're mistaken. Better yet, if they capture her, they can't hurt her. Without her, we're doomed. Isn't that right? Dankovsky told me that about his vaccine project. That's right, I'll tell them to stay their hand. Our town's always had 3 ruling houses, Kine, Orgimsky, Sabarov. Each one would reign over their own domain. The Kines were our head, the Orgimskys our belly. But pray, Borak, tell me what the Sabarovs held. The nerves. The Kines were weavers of laws and of dreams. The Orgimskys were masters of money and men. The Sabarov remained in executive power. Their task was to keep the street in order, in a town where there was almost no crime. I guess the genocide that the Orgimskys were perpetuating against the kin doesn't count as crime. 'Tis funny, you see, when the houses agreed to manage the town, Sabarov was in name the triumvirate's head. I know not what that meant, nor what it entailed. It entails exactly what is happening now. They could seize control in face of a mortal crisis. Sabarov still believes that his mission is clear. Keep order. He may not look the part, but he is not a fool. He knows duty entails the pursuits of order through fear, and that violent means stain the soul of a duty-bound man. Stains the hands, too. When denied respect, is a man not wounded, Borak? Not even for evil he does, but for failing to do much at all. Even more when you had not a chance to do any deed of note. There are only so many of those going round. Nonsense, the world is full of opportunities for greatness. Perhaps it is now, but not in ordinary times. To live a year of your life without doing something... live your life without doing something incontemptible is already an outstanding feat. One I've never seemed to quite accomplish. I speak not of you, Borak, I speak of my master. His pride, his soul, have been wounded by lack of respect. He needs his authority now more than ever. The Kines, the Orgimskys, never trusted our house. Perhaps this distrust never turned to contempt, but distrust it was, dear sir. What are you getting at, Reflection? Nothing. I've said my piece. You're a healer. One thinks you might care to learn more about pain. I am concerned with a different kind of pain. If a person comes to think that you wounded their heart with deceit, does that mean that you truly are guilty of it? More so in regards to their feelings, their hopes, and their fears? What does this have to do with Alexander Sabarov? Are you not his reflection? What indeed? I just asked you a question. This is a trick question I shall not answer. Well, healer, will you tell us about the carrier? Is she in there with him? Listen to me, idiots. There is no carrier. It's all nonsense and idle talk. Is this true, healer? I always tell the truth. Listen to me. No mob justice. Not one girl gets hurt. Do you understand me? They also say she's not alone. Not everyone dies from this sickness. Do you get what that means? I do, but we need to make sure, and that's not your job. If there are people who get sick but don't die, the plague must come from them. That's none of your concern. Go on home now. I know slightly more about the plague now. I need to keep searching. Even silly rumours may hold a grain of truth. The townsfolk firmly believe the Sabras are harbouring a plague carrier. Mob justice doesn't solve anything. I assuade the crowd because of their anger. The cause of their anger still haunts me. Is it true that not all victims of the sand pest die? She's shown her true colours, the false mistress. If our beloved White Swan Victoria was here, she'd be out on the street, shielding people from trouble. And Nina, if she were around, none of this would be happening. That's the sort of power she had. But this one just locks herself up at home, a useless mistress. I remember Nina. After her, a plague feels like a little more than a funhouse. So she was a woman of character. So what? They're all like that. Why ask more of her and what power she had? She radiated heat like a blazing forest fire. This one doesn't even give off light. This one? Sabarov woman, Katerina. She's never had power. Utterly barren. We used to pity her, but now she's worse than barren. She sows poison. Nonsense. What poison? You know nothing, you dolt. If you don't know the power of the mistresses, then shut your mouth and show some respect. Have some sense. Some give off heat, some give off light, some give off poison. We sense that she gives off poison. I suppose I should be going. The wisest woman in our town would take the title mistress, a word that calls to mind the tales of ancient sorcery. Do you believe in such thing? Mistresses were two extraordinary women in the town's ruling families. There was something undeniably uncanny about them. Stepson, you bear the marks of nature's flow upon your skin, but mind how thin the twire runs in your veins. You are more stone than earth. Like ships must catch the wind in sails, our town relies on nature's flow. Nature is everywhere. Everything lives by her flows. None know how many winding paths there are. None know what forces run their course. There are no words for what they hold. To see them calls for gifted senses, gifted minds. And should one hear the call of such gift, what feats, what brave new world you'd find with it, like being the very first to hoist a sail. Such gifts are not yet the domain of mankind. Victoria Ogimskaya and Nina Kaina, one 5'6", one 6'1", mortals, but seen as giants, for they could feel the powers move across the firmament. And some merely know the flows, some feel them now and then. A mistress tastes those waves, might drink of them, and when the stars align, might ride them. The people felt such women knew the workings of the world itself. And that's it. How is that not enough? The mistresses kept their hands quite clean of rough and tawdry magics. Victoria knew not a spell that brought the dead to life, but Nina did inspire fear. Along her steps, doors shut and children hid, but those two women gave the town its life. None knows the hows of why of such power. Clearly they didn't bolt those doors tightly enough. Yes, I knew a man like that. Nobody knew how, but his presence would severely change the pressure every time. Two mistresses there were, and all felt that to be correct, for one was night and one was day, one was heat and one was cold, one was storm and one was calm. Contrast reigned. Nina held court over schism and unease. Victoria's domain was peace and nourishment. The bright and the fearsome, as they were called. The kind had Nina, Ogimskaya had Victoria. When Sabarov returned with his young bride, my Katerina, there was no place for her in such a scheme. But her hairs would raise and her skin would sense it, and once Nina did perish, Katerina took her place and seized a name for herself. Nina the Nocturnal, Nina the Wild. Nina did only drive men to fear, but Katerina, naive as she was, mistook the nuance of Nina's role for romantic darkness, and that in turn would drive her down the road to frightful things. Luckily, she never became a second Nina. And is that such a blessing, sir? Nina did not just take children from their mothers. She tinged our lives with colour. Recall how in her days to walk the streets was an adventure. Perhaps our town would have been like that without her. It's not like anyone can check. Victoria died and Katerina replaced both mistresses. Two roles to play, she grew into neither, but patient folk would wait for her to find her gift, and some may still wait her day. Still await her day. True, it is easier to be fearsome than kind. Wild Nina begat Maria the talented, warm Victoria begat Capella the gifted. My mistresses has no one. She'd take any child to raise as her kin, gift or no gift. Is she afraid? She sits in darkness, weaving blackest yarn from heaviest thoughts. She'd rather knit baby socks. Instead she drapes black folds around her throat and chokes. Don't whine, Reflection. There, no need to cry. At night we hear her talk to herself. Mad. I failed to give life to the town, talentless. I failed to nourish town or child, giftless. I failed to guard against the plague, useless. I am barren. I could prescribe something for her nerves. But have you heard such wondrous news? We wait in awe for our new daughter, true and talented. And such a talent, sir, a blessed gift. And now we are not two, but three, and no, one will much more mighty, one will much more mighty than two be. So where is this girl? She walks the streets and does her chores, bound to this plague somehow. She has the gift, so she must stay to stop the plague. Salvation can and must come from the house of Sabarov. I've met that girl. She doesn't need to carry a list of chores. My health is bad. Let's see. I need to go back down here. How much stuff do I have? I have a bit of stuff I could give to to him, but I can't really get over there properly. I didn't mean to put that down. I need to go back to the lair. Why are you here?
The plague bringer is here, walking around.
Did you bring me anything yummy? Hey kiddo, are you by any chance sick? Let me take a look. Why? There's a rumour circulating around that the carrier of the pest is an orphan girl. Show me your tongue. I'm not sick. Nope, not me. Never am. I don't even get colds, and even when I'm soaked and barefoot. True, no signs of disease. Well, I'm not scared of this plague at all. Everyone's dying from it, Murky. Not everyone dies from it, only people who are scared, and I'm not scared at all. Who told you that? My new friend. Do you mean Clara? Is she your new friend? No, it's not Clara at all, it's my special friend. She's always with me. Yeah, sure. Oh, I do still have a lockpick. Host? Anyone? I never dealt with the robbers. That's fine. It could have been worse. I need to watch my health, otherwise it could spell doom for me. I pressed the wrong button. Jesus. Oh, well, I didn't account for there being two of you. Oh, fuck. That's not good for my health. Well, that's just a problem, isn't it? Let's take a different route. God damn it. I need to go to clothing stores to get more thread to repair my stuff. There's a thing that I need to do. It's the wrong door. I still haven't got any gears, which is slightly annoying. I didn't talk to Murky, but that's fine. You're not there anymore. These are all going to be broken. Going to take a nice leisurely stroll. That's what I need, finally. Right, I'm pretty sure this takes up 6. I'm pretty sure this takes up 9 slots. I don't remember if I need a sewing kit for anything. There's not much I can really sell to you, is there? Yeah, I thought it took up 9 slots. Annoying. I can get rid of those. I could get rid of the bottle too. I need the repellent cloak. Okay. Grindstone. I have 4, that's not too bad. I can't do that, I have no space. I need to work on more morphine. Water's gonna start becoming more of a scarcity, and that's a problem.
They'll have to stitch my belly back together.
I don't know, maybe I could be a sort of daughter to you. Oh, that's new. Didn't you say you don't like me? Well, you're not as bad as your daddy. Why are you saying he's bad? Well, That's what my friend said. She knows everything in the whole world because she can sneak into any tiny little hole. Who is that friend of yours anyway? Maybe I'll introduce you. She asks about you a lot, but doesn't want to meet you yet. You do that.
The plague bringer is here,
I've
walking
already done
around.
this. It's very brave of you. Okay, what did I need? This. Need the sewing box. That's fine. Okay. That's fine. That's a pretty good lockpick. Okay. Let's see. More water in there so I can brew more things. So I have 2 yellow. What do I do with my other stuff? I don't remember. Let's see. Blood and brown is white. Blood and black is yellow, and black and brown is orange. White, blood and brown. Okay. I guess I can't really do anything with these right now, but I guess I'll keep them. I'll take the fish. Oh my god. There we go. Right, okay. I think I am probably going to end stream because I do have stuff that I need to do, like going to the store and other stuff. It is, what, the start of day 6, so it's not too bad of a place to leave it. Where's Twitch? Ah, Birdie is streaming. We'll go and raid Birdie. Well, I hope everyone has a good rest of their day. Stay hydrated, eat something. I will probably be back with this tomorrow. I should be, depending on how I feel. But yeah, have a good rest of your day, everyone. Bye, everyone.